So you want to make an impact. You're thinking about starting a business, sharing your voice. How do women do it that handle motherhood, family, and still chase after those dreams? Well, listen each week as we dive into the stories of women who know. This is Call Me CEO. Are you ready to start offering your very own signature offering, but you're not sure what it is and you're not sure how to share it with the world? Well, today we're diving into a little piece of that, of what it looks like to take that step and the questions you need to ask and answer yourself to be ready to bring your service or your product or yourself to the world. We're going to dive in with this question. Make sure that you're subscribed. Welcome back, everyone. This is our special Friday episode of Coaching with Camille. For those of you who are new here, this is Call Me CEO, where we talk about motherhood, building business, and keeping a healthy balance in all areas of our life, which is a tall order. That's why I bring in so many experts and also questions from listeners like you who talk about things we all struggle with. So today, Kimberly G. Walker on Instagram, you can look her up. She helps people with all things health and fitness, and it's about finding the best balance for your body. It's a non-restrictive approach to dieting, exercise, and having a healthy lifestyle. So Kimberly, thank you for coming on the show today. Let's talk about your question.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, I tried to narrow it down to one, even though I have about 50, so good job, right?
Yep.
My question is, I am trying to create like a signature offer. You know, we're going into the holidays and everything, so how do I create a signature offer without coming across salesy? I do not want to come across salesy. That's like, I've never really had to sell myself as a practitioner. So an offer comes across salesy if it's not done right. So I just wanted to know your advice on how to do that.
Okay, so give us a little more background of the type of clients you've been working with, and now also the type of clients you're hoping to work with online.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's I'm happy to do that. So like my whole platform, I'm just trying to empower people to move and honor their bodies to improve their quality of life and well-being. I am a cancer exercise trainer, exercise physiologist, and have several years as a practitioner. And so I'm trying to just branch out and really work on overall like my whole campaign and kind of funneling, just so the process is smoother. People are not just like inspired, but then there's something that they can then do with that inspiration. You know, like I've done a lot of just kind of building my platform and things like that, but now I'm trying to give more offers that people are asking for. They're like, well, what do you have available? You know, and so kind of niching that down and narrowing that down is where I'm at.
Yeah. Perfect. You know, this is a question that we actually stumbled across when doing our first discovery call of coaching with me. And this is a very common question. If you're having this question of maybe taking something from a physical practice where someone would walk through the door and you don't have to worry about, quote, selling to them because they are already in your office. You don't have to worry about the marketing of that versus creating an online offer. It's a very different process. And I think for all of us, a very common situation that can rise up is that self-doubt, or, you know, what do I have to offer? And is it different enough? How do I make it feel like I am worthy of offering this or making it be of value? And the number one question I want you to think about, Kimberly, or for anyone else that is listening, is why not you? I think that a lot of times we see, quote, experts online, and they may or may not have as much experience as you do, and yet they're able to attract and serve and give people amazing opportunities to learn online. Some are better than others, as we know, but knowing your background, I know that you have 25 years of experience in helping many, many people, that literally hundreds, even to thousands of people, to discover healthy balances for lifestyle in fitness and food and their approach to all of it. So the very first question I want you to ask yourself is, why not me? I think that that's something that we can get really hung up on. First of all, is that something, I mean, just asking yourself that question, what does that feel like as you consider that piece?
I love that because I do feel like a lot of my doubts and like that imposter syndrome pops up, which is ridiculous. I know it is, but I do start saying, why me? The opposite, right? But then when I hear this, like, why not me? It does resonate. Like it calms my doubts a little bit. It kind of makes me take my power back and take what made me want to take up the space that I know is there, but it's I like get caught in my mind, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I mean, I think taking time to actually ask that and answer that for ourselves is our brain will always believe what we tell it. We're never going to outperform the way we see ourselves, right? And so if we're telling our brain a story or our minds this story, we will believe it. So I think we really have to work on engineering that first, because before we have the funnel, before we talk to the people, before we know exactly what that offering is or why we would be of service to these people or whoever it is that we're serving, we need to think, why not me? And to really give your brain the evidence of what that success could look like, and even proof a step further, a step I would want you to take after that is, what are pieces of success or proof you have given yourself where you have had success or you have helped people? So I would turn that question to you. What are some examples that you could share with our audience today of success, of ways that you've helped people to reach their health goals?
Sure. I mean, like as a practitioner, like when I feel like as you're good at what you do, you honestly don't have to sell yourself. Like
Mhm.
my clients have always just been like I've always been double booked out long long for, months. And so like that's something I've never really had to do. And so that's just one thing that comes to mind. The other thing is like, I was able to teach at a university for 10 years, and like having that experience, like so many students, like kind of mentoring and teaching these students like group fitness instructor training, how to become a practitioner. Like so that's something that I know I have a lot of skills in, and the individuals that I work with are like high risk. And so what that means is that they're dealing with various comorbidities or just different challenges, physical challenges. And so as a practitioner, I have training in all those different comorbidities, and I'm able to kind of help them come up with movement that honors their body and that helps them meet their needs, and modify movement to fit their needs instead of the other way around. So I think that's a piece that gets lost in a lot of other um, platforms that are out there that we've tried to change to become. Instead, it's like, let's change the movement to fit what we need to work to meet us where we're at, so that we are indeed honoring our body.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, I don't think I've ever met anyone that has spoken to something so specific, such a specific need of a problem that you can solve. And is that something that you see other people online solving and serving that group of people
Um,
in such a beautiful way?
I don't think as an exercise physiologist, no. I don't see that. I mean, I see people dabbling in it, especially like, you know, um, with some of the like experts out there on like, body positivity and stuff like that. They're starting to go there, a lot of the non-diet dietitians. And so like my philosophies align with a lot of that. But I think as an exercise physiologist, it is a unique place to be. And I really do try to stay in my scope of practice. So like as far as nutrition needs, like, yeah, I might share recipes or whatnot, but I'm going to have you work with a dietitian along with me so that we're all staying in our scope of practice. So you're getting expert skills, and you're not getting mixed information, just like, oh, this is what worked for me once, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a professional approach.
So, Kimberly, do you think that you have something to offer that would help people online in your business?
100%. Yeah, I
Okay.
do. And I say that confidently because I know I can, but like you just get in your head, especially as a mom, like you're squeezing it in. I'm juggling other things. I am juggling my current career part-time, which I love, but I also want to build my private online coaching practice. And so, yeah, you just really get in your head. And I feel like I need to just be a little bit more invested and and kind of, I don't want to like go all in. I'm not trying to leave what I'm doing. I'm just trying to confidently and slowly grow on this other area too.
Yeah. So with that proof of concept and those stages that I just took you through, how do you think you could bring your services or make your community aware of what you have to offer without being salesy?
Well, and I think you and I had talked just a little bit before this call. Like I think it could be super fun with the holidays coming up to create some type of a little offer that aligns with, I talked about how like the fourth quarter, right, is big in businesses, and it's like, okay, let's look at our fourth quarter. Well, I think that's kind of what it is. We take a little bit of an inventory and accountability, like what's gone on this year and what might change next year, not in the I have to change, but in the what am I feeling inspired and directed to do this next year that's going to make an impact where I am. And I feel like I can help people who are seeking to know how to do that, to reach their intentions or goals, whatever words you like to use, that will help them to nourish their bodies, incorporate more resistance training into their movement, incorporating those things that really matter, and improve their longevity and reduce muscle loss.
Yeah. So one thing, I mean, from what you've shared with us, your proof of concept, one thing that I've learned for sure when selling online is that if we can flip the script in our mind of understanding what we're offering, who we're serving, and then to really look at it as I am giving value because I care, it all of a sudden takes that scope of being, quote, salesy into it would be a disservice to not let people know what I have to offer. And if that comes in bite-sized forms of, reels that you share or content that you're sharing online where you're giving them takeaways of value that they can take with them as they're learning from you. And then also to offer your signature offer or that the coaching that you do one-on-one or that initiative that you have for the end of Q4 going into the new year, then offer it. People will never know what you have to offer until you give them the opportunity to do so. And by providing value and giving your audience ways to connect with you and for you to almost go into the space of I get to instead of I have to, that shifts our mind where we're saying, I get to share this. I am an expert. And it would be a disservice not to offer these offerings because I know it will change lives.
Yeah, that resonates with me, especially because like I have like this like deep burning passion inside me, like to share this message that it's much more about quality of life and well-being. And like I've worked in oncology for 16 years, and like we don't have forever on this planet, and quite frankly, like we really do just have to like seize the moment and find joy in our bodies now, and that movement helps us to improve that time with our loved ones. And so I just want to shout that from the rooftops, like now is the time to care for you regardless of everything else going on.
Yeah, which that's a powerful message. I hope that as I've asked these questions and as you've listened to yourself speak about it, you can just see like the light in your eyes. It's like firing you up. And that's the space where you want to be when you create content. And so I think if you go through the question and that process of asking yourself the question of why not me? What do I have to offer? And this is a service I get to share. That's when you want to sit down in that power and plan out content for the week, for 2 weeks, for the month, whatever you have energy for, because that's when it comes from a place of abundance. And it comes from a place of I get to, and I love this, and this is why. And that it's just such a higher vibration than I have to, or this feels salesy, or I don't want to shove what I have to offer down other people's throats. If we come to that angle of I get to and I'm helping, it changes everything.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Well, thank you for tuning into this episode. These are just really quick, bite-sized pieces of coaching with Camille. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to have you on the show. Any rating or sharing of the show always helps us. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next week.